Greetings and welcome to the Why You Should Play Old Game of the Year 2025 list. Like it sounds, these are going to be games that didn't necessarily come out this year but are ones that I've played through for the first time. Not necessarily completed all of them. If it's a game like a Rogue-lite or something that doesn't have necessarily a natural ending like a racing game, then if I've just put in quite a few hours into it this year, then I'd consider it for this list. Otherwise, if it's an RPG or an action adventure with a strong story, then I would prefer to have finished it in order to include it here. So there are some games that I just haven't finished. I fell off for whatever reason and are not on this year's list, although they could be on a future year's list. So without further ado, let's get started with our 10th place game. So back in October I felt like playing some horror games, and there's the one developer, Supermassive Games, who've made quite a name for themselves with these horror narrative tales. Going back to Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4 was the very first one, and in these games you typically control a bunch of characters and you bounce around between different ones that you play in various points in the story, and you make decisions which can impact who lives and dies, and there's also action sequences and quick time events that can also result in death if you muck them up. They also make the Dark Pictures Anthology series, which are shorter games and a lower budget. This one, the Quarry, is kind of in equal standing to Until Dawn, I would say. They've got some big name actors like David Arquette and Halston Sage, who was in the Orville, which is like the parody of Star Trek, really good series, and Justice Smith, you might recognise, has become a bit of a big deal recently in movies and TV as well. So they have spent some cash on this game. I'm not going to spoil the twists or anything in case you want to play this game for yourself, because that's part of the fun. But it just about scrapes into the bottom of my list. So let's move on to my 9th place game now. So we're going back quite a long way now to a game called Concerto on the PlayStation 1, which is a game I've owned for absolutely ages. I've got a physical copy of it on disc, but I never got around to playing it. But this year I wanted to try and get through some of the games in this series. I think they're called the Bronx Tale series, and they comprise this game and Solar to Robo Red the Hunter on the DS, and then the 3 Fuga Melodies of Steel games that have come out. And they all take place in the same world, which is a world of anthropomorphic cats and dogs. And in this first game you play as a dog policeman. I forget his name now. I'm sure if I skip ahead a little bit we'll find out. So yeah, but anyway, it's a sort of action adventure game where there are on foot sections, but there are also sections in this robot, and a lot of the time you're kind of hunting down these kitten pirates that are stealing things from the dog population, and you're doing battle against these 3 lady pirate cats. I think Waffle is his name. It's come back to me now. So this is a pretty good game. A acquiring a copy now physically for the PS1 is quite pricey, but so I'm lucky I bought it for a fairly low price back in the day, and I've just sat on it until now. I also started playing Solo to Robo, but I never finished it, otherwise that might have got on my list. That's one that's really shot up in price and can't be emulated very well because it uses an extra bit of memory in the cartridge so that it works with the DSi. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Yeah, I really enjoyed the light-hearted nature of this game. It wasn't a terribly long game, but it was fun, and it reminds me of something like Studio Ghibli might make as an animated film, but of course as a video game instead. So let's move on to the next position. Back around the middle of 2025, a few months before the Switch 2 came out, I wanted to play through some good 3D platformers, and I've never finished the Sly Cooper series, so I played all the way through the first Sly Cooper game, and then I played Sly 2, and then I started Sly 3, and the Switch 2 came out, so I never finished the third one. So I still have to go back and play through Sly 3 properly, but I really enjoyed Sly 2. Of course, they're part of this sort of holy trinity of platforming on the PS2, because you have Jak and Daxter, and then Ratchet and Clank, and then Sly Cooper. I don't know which one is my favourite of those three series. Probably Jak and Daxter, because that's the one I played back then, and yeah, back when it was new and current. I played all the Jak games, but I would say this is a close second, maybe, to those. The stealth gameplay is not too taxing, and the platforming still feels really good. It holds up well compared to modern platformers that have come out in more recent times. I'm just going to try and get to a bit of the platforming gameplay. So, yeah, you if you've played other more modern games by Sucker Punch, such as Infamous or Ghost of Tsushima, then you can still see certain elements of gameplay that have followed through all of their titles. They're really good at making really solid action adventure games with climbing and stealth and what have you. So yeah, I do want to go back and play their first game, Rocket Robot on Wheels, on the N64 as well. So maybe you'll be seeing that on a future old game list. We'll see. But for now, let's move on to the 7th place game. So this is now moving ahead a little bit in the year. This is when the Switch 2 had been out for about a month maybe, and I'd played enough Mario Kart World to get my fill for a while, and I wanted to test out Switch 1 games that I'd had on my shelf for a while, and so I chose Wavetale. This was a super rare release on cartridge, and I really liked the artwork on the cover and the whole premise of the game. I'd seen Switch Up recommend it a few times as in sale videos, so I knew roughly what the game was about, and so I played through this one. This is one of several sort of short, cosy games that I played through back to back after I'd been playing really long stuff, and it was quite refreshing. And yeah, the Switch 2 really does make quite a big difference to the game. It's a solid 60 frames per second with no issues whatsoever, and the platforming gameplay and the fluid running on water. It feels really good. So I would recommend it to at least check it out digitally. I wouldn't necessarily try and hunt down a copy of the super rare release unless you're a really die-hard physical Switch game collector and you want a copy, because the price is starting to get up there and it's really not a very long game. So anyway, let's move on to 6th place. Just going to have a little drink of juice before I get into Smushi Come Home. So after Wavetale, I then moved on to this game, which is another super rare games release, and in this one you're a little mushroom called Smushi who gets accidentally separated from the rest of his family when he's picked up by a bird, and the rest of the game is spent with you trying to find your way back to them, basically, and you do that by going through several environments, each one themed after a different season. So there's an autumnal region and a spring region, a summer region and a winter region, and so the game and the graphics do change based on that, and you're basically helping out all sorts of strange and lovable little characters, mostly bugs. And yeah, it's another short game, not very challenging at all, but a fun one. And it was a nice break from all the massive RPGs I'd been playing early in 2025. But now I shall move on to the next game. I'm now going back earlier into 2025 when I was had a bug to play some roguelites, and that goes back to 2024 where I played Bros, and that was one of my games of the year there. I was looking for more roguelites that I could really sink my teeth into, and this one was a good choice. It's got some fantastic pixel art, action RPG type gameplay like a Zelda game, and it wasn't too tough or too long. The runs, you will die early on, but you can just keep collecting the resources and powering yourself up, and eventually you'll be strong enough to take on the bosses without too much grinding, I would say. I had a lot of fun with Sparklite. I can't remember exactly how many hours it took to beat. I think it was only about 20, which is pretty short compared to some games of this type. My fondness for roguelites didn't stop there, because after that I moved on to Children of Morta, which has been around for a long time now, but I'd never played it, and I wanted another pixel art sort of action game along the same lines as Sparklite, but this one had a bit more challenge to it, I think. It was quite tough at times, but again, you just have to keep going on runs. What I liked about this one is each of the members of the Bergson family were quite different. Their abilities are all different, and you can level them up separately, and they have their own skill trees and what have you. And the game encourages you to change which one you use because of the curse system. So if you just stick to the same family member repeatedly, then eventually they'll have a curse and be weakened. So you want to change it up and try out the others as well. And eventually I came to like 3 or 4 of the skill trees from different family members. And I think this one is just slightly more in depth than Sparklite. I recommend them both, but I slightly prefer Children of Morta. I'm glad I played it. I did stop after beating the main campaign because there was still the Trials mode, but I put a few hours into Trials mode, but it got a bit repetitive after a while, so I'm happy to have at least finished the story and move on after that. So let's move on to the third place game in my list. Now we come to a very strange game, and one I've been wanting to talk about on the channel for a while. I still might do a proper review of this game and its sequel, because I played through both of them in 2025, and this is Chicken Police Paint It Red, which is a film noir narrative game, really, detective game, where you play as a chicken cop, along with his partner. The main character is Sonny Featherland, and his partner is Marty McChicken. So something happened in the past and meant that you're not talking to your partner at the beginning of the game, but you have to sort of repair your relationship with him in the first couple of chapters, and then you have to investigate this crime boss who is a ferret, I think. And there's all sorts of film noir tropes and inspirations from Raymond Chandler and things like that, and the style of the game may well remind you of Sin City. It's definitely taking that sort of black and white with flashes of red and other colours that film did, and it might sound like a really ridiculous premise and a comedy game, but it actually plays things quite straight. It's quite a serious storyline, really, and yeah, I really enjoyed playing it. I played it on my Steam Deck, mostly on commutes home from work, and yeah, I'd also recommend the sequel, but I didn't like that one quite as much, and it had lots of typos and other little things wrong with it compared to this one. It seems like they put much more polish into this, but if you want to know more, then look out for my full review that I still hope to get out at some point, and it will be a double review, including the sequel as well, and that I might touch upon the other games in the World of Wilderness series, because there's more games planned. It's become quite a big franchise, surprisingly. So anyway, yeah, let's move on to my second place game. So returning to Supermassive Games and all the horror games that I played in October, much to my surprise, we have the Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes, and this is really the only one in the Dark Pictures Anthology that I thought was excellent. The other ones in the series were a bit low budget, and the stories actually weren't that interesting, and the characters not that likeable. And I really didn't think I would like these characters, because they're quite macho military types that have been sent into Afghanistan to investigate if there are weapons of mass destruction, and before they can establish whether that is the case or not, a fissure opens up, which you can see on the screen now, and they get swallowed up, and they find themselves underground and being stalked by demons, Pazuzu, which are sort of from Mesopotamian mythology, and the game does develop and have twists and turns from there, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters, I liked the twists, I liked the story. Yeah, this turned out to be one of the favourite games that I played this year, much to my surprise. But without any more faffing around, let's get to my favourite old game of 2025. So if you saw at the beginning of the year, in April, I made a quarter one video of games that I'd finished, and I finished 3 of the 4 Trails of Cold Steel games there, and of those 3, this was my favourite. The first 2 introduced you to Rien Schwarzer and his classmates, and then this third one kind of reset everything. Rien Schwarzer became a tutor rather than a class member, and he took on a new class of students. The graphics took an overhaul, they look slightly better than before. All the old characters do come back eventually. There's tons of side quests, a massive cast. So far this has been my favourite game in the Cold Steel sub-series. I did start 4, but I just played too many hours of these games, and I burned out on 4. At the moment, I am going to go back and start it over and hopefully finish it this time. Hopefully this year, because I do really love the Trails series, and I don't want to stop midway through one of the sub-series like I have, so I shall but definitely make sure that I finish it off. But so number 4 might turn out to be better than number 3. I really don't know. What little I saw of it did show a lot of promise, because a lot of classic characters come back, but for now, this has been the highlight of the 3 that I've played, and ends up winning my old game of the year 2025. So I'm going to switch back to the main camera now. So yeah, these are always quite long videos, but so I thank you to anyone who's got all the way to the end. My new game of the year 2025 video shall hopefully be out in a few days. I want to give this video a bit of a chance to breathe, but hopefully it won't be too long before the other one's out as well. Maybe a few days into the new year, I'll release the new one, the second one. Yeah, that's all I have to say really. So yeah, if you watched all the way to the end, like I said, well done and thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.